This video is sponsored by the Outcast Seal.
Feeling like a seed in the ground, nigga, all I wanna do is grow. But that shit going too slow. Niggas be doing the most. Can wait till I make it and glow. Now let me just switch up the flow, switch up the pace.
For those who recognize anime subtleties, you'll find a new appreciation for this piece. On top of that, each person will have a one-of-one staple piece added to their fit. Outcast Seal, out now. No reason to wait, go get yours now.
He's ugly. She thinks that he's ugly.
And she just wants to give him head. She wants to give head. Girls A are not just giving head. What world do you live in? Girls are not just giving head to ugly guys just for the sake of it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that? No. Is that really what?
I've literally.
That has not happened. Yes. They were lying if they said that they thought they were unattractive.
I don't think so. We were kids.
Sorry, I was going to say there is also kind of a gradient. I mean, for me, I'm not a very jealous person. If you're drunk at a bar and you kiss a stranger and you feel bad about it, I can swallow that. But if you're fully went home with someone, at each level did not stop a hookup from happening, which is what happened to me.
She said something about if you just kiss somebody at a bar or something like that, it's not that bad or something like so. That right there was still considered a form of cheating to me. So I thought she was the mole herself.
For me,
yeah, that was kind of crazy that she. What do you think about that? Do you think if somebody is
I can
going
swallow
to a bar,
I can swallow a kiss. I'm good with it. I can swallow.
You can swallow a kiss?
I can swallow.
If your girl went to a bar and kissed a guy while she's drunk on the lips, you'd be like, bet, I'll eat that.
It's not gonna be like that, but it's something that's more forgivable.
Nah, that's wild. How you out here kissing other people? You can't kiss other people in my relationship. I can't kiss other people, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Why would I let you be kissing people? That's the way I look at it.
Like I said, first I
don't care how
what
drunk
happened,
you are, because when you're drunk,
if
they force you to do it, then obviously that's not the same situation.
I mean, that's the whole different situation.
Exactly, that's the only scenario where that action is acceptable.
So kiss, done deal. I'm over you.
Yeah, you got drunk and you did what you wanted to do, which obviously wasn't to be faithful. So,
okay, yeah. That's fair.
I don't know. I guess what would be the argument that you would have that you think if someone gave you, you'd be like, oh, okay.
The argument that would need to be had. I think I need to understand what was the situation or how were you. How did?
Give me the situation that would make them...
No, I'm literally I'm literally thinking that you need to tell me what was the situation where you were actually in that allowed you to kiss another person.
They were dancing and they're having a good time.
Yeah. And
then they got close and it was just it felt a pull.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's not that I'm fine with it. What? It's wrong. I would be tight either way, but it's something depending on how they would come back to me and talk about our relationship and what we would do, then I'll kind of try to figure out if we can move forward.
I guess to me, because I've been out, I've been dancing, and I've been close to people, and never once, and I've been drunk, and never once was I
I hear that.
This is my opportunity to kiss another girl outside my relationship.
I hear that.
So if someone's doing that, that must be that. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, listen. I'm not saying that it's not wrong.
I made sure that I never did that, even while I was drunk.
I understand that it's not wrong. People make mistakes. That's what that's where I'm coming from with it.
It's not a mistake. But that's what I'm saying. It's not a mistake. It's that they don't want to be with just you. It's not a mistake. You don't accidentally kiss somebody. You don't accidentally. Someone might kiss you and you move away.
Bro, if you're drunk enough, you could do things that you necessarily...
I don't believe in that. When you're drunk, when you're drunk, you just do what you would do. Yes. Drunk is not an excuse for behavior. If you're drunk, you beat someone up, that's because you beat people up and you want to when you're not drunk, and it just removes your inhibitions and you do what you would normally not want to do.
I would say this, right? In that context, right? You're drunk.
It gives you a false confidence.
It's easier for you to... You don't think as logically, and you're not able to actually hold yourself as accountable for whatever things happen or to let things go.
But
so somebody says something to you, necessarily if you weren't drunk, you might not have hit them or said something else.
I'm talking about
now,
from this. Like, would you be beating on your significant other if you're drunk? It's the same thing. Like if you excuse somebody beating on their significant other because they're drunk, if you excuse that, then that's only that's what
I wouldn't excuse that.
Well,
but
you're saying, well, they're just drunk. Like they just got out of hand. They person must have said something crazy and got them into it.
Yeah, I would say that it got out of hand. But
I
think that there is a level on, like, if you beat up somebody to the point where now it looks like you actually just have something like aggression problems or something like that.
I'm saying that when you're drunk, when you're drinking alcohol and you get that buzz feeling, it makes you confident to do the things you want to do. You want to talk to that girl? Now you feel you have that confidence. You want to kiss that guy? You know how you have that confidence. You want to beat on this person because you're upset at them? Now you have that confidence. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't already have the thought of wanting to do that, subconsciously or consciously, when you had those inhibitions removed, it wouldn't be what you did. The alcohol just showed your true nature. People who are not normally, like, if there's a quiet kid and when he's drunk he's crazy and he's as loud, he's angry.
I understand that. I get
that's
that.
just because that's what he wants to do normally.
I get those stories, but I don't.
He just doesn't.
I'm just thinking about the fact that, like, I don't believe that is always the case.
And I'm trying to ask you, what would be the case where that wouldn't be the case, where alcohol is creating actions that aren't in your mind already? If I decide to cheat on my girlfriend while I'm drunk, it's because I really wanted to do that while I was sober. It's not because...
It's maybe not be the fact that...
not because the alcohol. The alcohol just made it so I felt confident, or maybe I didn't care about some other things that I cared about as much. But
I'm also trying to... Because I'm thinking about this. Like, I'm really just trying to make a scenario where it's okay. But...
I don't think there is one.
I'm thinking about this. The fact that I know that, like, I've talked to people where they necessarily don't want to. No, they want to have, like, sex with somebody else, but they want to do it in a different way. So then, when they're
different
drunk,
way, you're saying like they want
like they wanted them to wait or something like that.
What do you mean? Oh, the other person. So you're saying a person's in a relationship and they want to have sex with their significant other, but their significant other is making them wait for something to have sex.
Yeah.
So
okay.
But still, that means that you don't necessarily want to have sex with that person. You just want to have sex in general, which is still. Yeah.
Wait, what?
You're saying there's...
In my scenario, I'm saying that you have two people. The one person is making that other person wait. They get drunk and they yes, they wait to have sex, and then they have
in their relationship
sex.
Or in that day.
They're thinking about being in a relationship, or let's just
in the relationship,
and then in the relationship, and then they wind up.
Wait. So if they're not dating, this is outside the constraints of this conversation. It's not cheating anymore.
Well, I'm trying to lay groundwork for the fact of when a person is drunk, it's not necessarily that that's their true nature, but it's more of an out of character action because of the alcohol, which impaired their judgment.
But there's people that get drunk and black out, and they've never hurt their significant other. They never beat them up. They've never.
Yes, but they still do. But they still do other things that would be
in their character.
That are outside of their character because they are.
It's just not what they usually do, but it's still in their character. It's things that they would do. It's just things that maybe they're more shy to do, or they're more like nervous about doing, or have more inhibitions.
I do not think that you're telling me somebody that gets drunk to a certain level that now their judgment is completely, like, let's say completely impaired, right? Which we have seen plenty of people at a very high intoxicated level.
Yes.
And they do things that necessarily, they do something on a night that they necessarily would never ever do. But
Like
they did it once. I don't know.
Dance, strip naked. Those are all things they wanted to do and would do in their mind and have thought about before in their mind, at least subconsciously or unconsciously.
But you can have thoughts that go
free.
inside and outside, that go in your mind that you necessarily wouldn't do ever.
But it wouldn't be something that you would. If you wouldn't do it, you wouldn't do it while you're drunk. If it's something that you don't do, like
Bro,
I don't,
I
don't eat this. Someone gets you drunk, they would have to either convince you it was something else. You wouldn't see that, knowing what it is, and still eat it.
I would disagree.
I'm positive. If the person doesn't like
okay,
the type
so
of food,
so
even
somebody,
drunk, they still don't like the foods they don't like.
I would say that they said that somebody tells you to eat this food. And while you're drunk,
and you say what it is, and it's the thing.
Some people don't even ask what it is. They say eat it, and you eat it.
And that's not the scenario we're saying. I'm not talking about where someone got tricked into getting kissed or kissing someone. You don't get tricked into kissing someone. You don't get tricked into. You see someone, and you have to, and they go closer to you, and they start to kiss you, and you have to choose to go do that, and you have to choose to keep making out. You don't. You don't get tricked into this scenario.
I'm not talking about getting tricked, but I just think that there is a scenario where, and it's not something that's really an outlier type of scenario where people get drunk and are now having impaired judgment and do things that are out of character of what they would do, regardless of, like, this is something that I don't like. I've never had the thought to actually really like to do something like that, but yet you did it when you were drunk or intoxicated.
Well, at least subconsciously you wanted to do it, otherwise you wouldn't have done it.
That's not. I don't believe
Did someone lead you down the path to do that? Unless someone led you down the path to do it, that's the only way you would have done it. You know what I mean? There's only two things that a person acts off of: internal forces or external forces. So if it wasn't external forces that brought you to it, and if it's a situation like that where you have to choose to walk down that path or walk into that door, if you are drunk, and I'm saying unless you're like drunk past the point where you're just on the ground, just like out of it, like done. That's the only place where I could say that now your mind's not there anymore because you're like floating in between consciousness. But if you're conscious, you're up until that point you're conscious the entire time, and you can see and you can hear, you can smell and you can think.
Yeah, but you're not thinking the same though, and we're not.
Yeah, but you're still thinking of things that you want to do and things that you like. Things smell good.
But that's not true, bro. Because
yes,
you can see. We process things, right? That's external from us actually having our own preferences on that yet.
And you still.
And because you're now drunk,
it doesn't change.
You don't have actual preference on that thing.
Yeah,
you just might just act on it.
Act on what? Try to give.
Okay.
I understand. I gave you a perfect example. There are people who are loud people when they're drunk, or quiet people when they're drunk, and it's based off of.
Yes, I understand that aspect.
Personality.
I'm talking about the fact that because when you're impaired as in being drunk, you're now going into the context of your mind being more loose in whatever it processes. Think of this.
Drunk driving, for example. How is it that now people don't drive as much?
What?
Why is it that now people don't drunk drive as much as they used to?
Because of the law.
But why? How do they make that decision in their mind now, while they're drunk, that I'm not going to drive right now and put my life at risk? They're making a conscious decision because they
know either they'll go to jail or...
Exactly, which means they have the ability to reason while you're drunk. You can choose to give someone else the keys. You can choose to not get
there's a level of...
You can choose to not kill somebody.
But at the same time, I would say this. People still get pulled over or drive drunk.
And those are the people that chose to do that. Those are the same people who chose to do that.
But I'm saying that there's a person... I'm talking about the person, the fact of the person that they drive drunk, still knowing that they'll get pulled over,
and they chose to accept that risk.
They just thought, I have to go home, not processing the fact that they would be worried about getting pulled over and the repercussions that will come from that.
Stupid people. And anyone who does that, does the law be like, oh, you were just drunk?
But the point is not that it was logical, right? My point that I'm trying to say is the fact that they are acting, and they're acting on things.
But they chose to do that, and they have to bear the consequences of doing that. The same way, if you choose to get drunk and you choose to have sex with someone, there are consequences that apply for that. Yeah. You had the ability to not do that. Okay. And you chose to do that. These people are choosing to do this.
I'm not saying that, bro.
And that's what I'm saying.
You're talking about the choice. But I'm saying that...
You weren't forced to do it. You chose to do it.
I'm talking about... Within a choice, you have to break down that. You have to reasonably think, right? And I'm saying that
not much.
They're reasonably...
You have to... But the thing is based off of what you would do before. Like, if you were going to a party and you were like, I'm going to drive home. I drove here and I'm going to drive home after I'm drunk. You already set yourself into a position to where there's a likelihood where you could drive drunk, and then while you're drunk, you have the mindset of, should I just walk around and vibe for a little bit so I come down before I can drive, or I just start driving immediately? These are all choices that people make, and the people that decide.
Bro, so I break
like
that.
I
break that when the moment they walk in and they already are drinking and they continue to drink, and then everybody says, we're leaving. All right, I'm leaving too. They don't think about, I'm drunk right now. Yes,
and I'm saying those are stupid people. Those are the same people. Those are cheap.
Okay, but we're not talking about logic.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Because what do you mean we're not talking about logic? We're talking about, is it their responsibility to choose not to drink or drive, or choose not to?
Yes, it's still a responsibility. Yes, it's still a responsibility.
So there's no wiggle room.
All I'm talking about.
How is it not you? I'm just saying, why would you just take that and be like, oh, well, they were just drunk. That's why they kissed that person. If you wouldn't take it if they were drunk and they decided to drive.
I'm thinking, so in this scenario, this is a scenario, right? So the drunk scenario.
There's one thing that goes across the board for all actions that you do while you're drunk, and that's not applying. You have plenty of opportunity to choose what you do while you're drunk.
And I'm thinking about where was... You had plenty of opportunity before, like, not going to the party or not being around it. So then once you were in this scenario, what was that like? I think that's what I'm really judging, is the fact of once you're in this scenario... It
doesn't matter what the scenario is like. I don't understand. What are these scenarios that you're having where people are like being coerced into doing actions that they know are against their better judgment? There's no such thing as that. Unless someone forces you to do it, which is no longer in the scope of the conversation. But if there's a situation that there's an option to do something that is in your best interest, and there's a bunch of other options to do that might be a variant of things that are against your interest or some combination of both, and you decide you have an option to pick any of those choices. And while you're drunk, you're conscious and aware of those options. You might tell yourself that you're not, but you aren't, because if those same situation had happened to you while you were sober, you would have been.
Yeah, but you also, and that's another thing, is like you have to be reflecting on those options. You might not already be doing that because you've already put yourself in a scenario where.
This is the scenario that I have then for you. So there's this girl, and she's like, I think I've heard this somewhere as an excuse, and it's a wild one. And she's like, she went out and went back with some people, her friends and some other people, some other guys at their house. And she gets back to the spot, and everyone's vibing or whatever, and she's like on her phone or something, and they end up like laying down on the couch or something. And then over time, she doesn't really realize that everyone else is left except this one guy. And it's like a guy that they've been talking for a little bit, not like sexually, but like they're in the same group, like they're just friends.
Okay.
And he whips out his dick, and she goes and gives him head. And her excuse of why she did that is like, well, every time I see a dick, like I just suck it. And that's the excuse that you're giving in this scenario for, it's just what you didn't. That's not how it works.
But first of all,
that's not how it works.
Okay,
that's the scenario you're
homegirl is what? Homegirl's completely sober at this point?
No, she's not completely sober. She's still drunk.
Okay, she's drunk. But in that case, right, I look at that still as wild, because it's like you've been chilling and it's not like you're out of your mind where you're not.
She's still drunk. They took shots while they're back at the place.
Yeah, but she's been chilling there for a minute. That's what I'm saying. It's
What
like,
do you mean a minute? I didn't say it was an hour or so until when she was sober again. I just said it's still. She was on her phone vibing, and then
so you're chilling on your phone. You only you only had like a couple shots or whatever. So, but we know if this was a guy that she didn't find attractive or didn't like, she wouldn't have just glizzied. I would disagree,
bro. You know that to be true. Girls are not just giving head to people they don't like. If you don't find someone attractive, they're not interacting sexually with people they don't find attractive.
I would say girls have interacted
I'm not
with
saying
people that they don't find attractive, and
they found them attractive in that moment. At least, no, bro. No one's doing. No. Yes.
You don't think. Girl's drunk. She doesn't find him attractive, but she wants sex. She's not gonna have sex with that person.
She just gave him head. There's no sex involved in this.
Okay, so he had a sexual encounter. He's ugly. She thinks that he's ugly,
and she just wants to give him head. She wants to give head. Girls are not just giving. What world do you live in? Girls are not just giving head to ugly guys just for the sake of it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that? No. Is that really what?
I've literally
that has not happened. Yes. They were lying if they said that they thought they were unattractive, and they just gave them head. That was it. That was the end of the night. That has not happened. The person's lying, or they just wanted to give head.
That's what I was saying.
Yes, but what I'm saying is they still made that choice. So,
okay.
So what I'm saying is that and most of the time that's not happening. People are not.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that that's most of the time. I'm saying that that's happened, and I'm not saying that in what we've been talking about. I'm not saying in what we've been talking about. I'm talking about this is most of the time. I'm not talking about most of the time. I'm talking about like an outlier type of situation where I have to assess like.
Okay, so in that scenario where you're saying that your girl just likes giving head, and so. She saw dick and she just went.
Yeah, but then at that point you know how she moves. So then it's like
she likes giving head. Doesn't mean she should be giving head to other people. You can like giving head. I
understand that. But in that scenario, she's essentially giving head to anybody and everybody.
No, not necessarily. Just people she finds attractive or wants to give head to.
Fair.
Or people, or to everybody. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you can like something. And be in a relationship. You can like to have sex. Doesn't mean you have sex with anyone?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm saying...
You're saying that
you could like to have sex and not have
sex. Yeah, not have sex with just anyone. Even if you find them attractive.
Yeah.
So, what's the problem here where someone can...
I'm not saying that it's not still a problem. I'm not saying that they still didn't make a mistake.
Why do you not even forgive it? Of course you're going to forgive people because they're not going to hold on to that. But why do you... not see that as like a violation of the relationship where you would need to.
I'm not saying that it's not a violation,
but you said
to the extent of to break up, depending on how long we've been together, depending on how I feel about the person. That would.
But you don't know what you should do outside of what you're feeling. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, maybe there's a girl you like, but she's out here fucking everyone else. You don't want to break up with her because you like her, but. I can't be in a relationship with someone that's...
No, I feel that.
Yeah, so I don't... What do you keep talking... What do you mean by...
Another thing is it's also like, it's a kiss, right? So like, for me, I'm like...
You're just good with that.
I'm like, alright, you kiss somebody. Cool. Don't do that shit again, though.
That's going to happen again. If it
happens again, then at that point, alright, done deal. But like, then it wasn't a mistake. You not actually controlling yourself while we're together.
I wouldn't want to be with someone that excused me of... just kissing girls in the club.
But you're saying girls and kissing multiple times.
Or guys. I don't care who it is. I'm saying I don't care. I wouldn't be with anyone that would be with me kissing other people. Aren't them in the club.
I'm coming from simply really where I'm coming from is like you can make mistakes. We'll have a conversation about it. I'll see how I feel about it, and then we move forward. A kiss.
But there's certain things that violate the contract. So I'm like, there's certain things that violate the contract. And in my mind, if the goal is for us to be If the goal is for us
for
to,
you, it's just that happened, done deal. For me, I'm not saying all right, that happened once, cool.
But there's a reason why that happened. Is what I'm saying.
And and I'm gonna have a conversation about that and understand like what happened and what you were doing.
But you're just. But there's no example unless the only I guess the only would be if they were the only the only is that if they didn't consent to it, because otherwise if they chose to do that, and there's no excuse for it, other than they no longer want to be in the relationship or they no longer find me attractive, or not necessarily find me attractive, but they want to be with other people. You can find other people attractive, of course.
No, I understand it.
You're no longer wanting this to be an exclusive relationship. It's like, bet, okay, then we're no longer an exclusive relationship. But that means we're breaking up because that's what it is. Like,
I understand that.
I don't consider
I understand what you're saying.
Like,
I would say this, like, okay, she did that action, right? So the next time, either if you are continuing to put yourself in those situations where it can happen again, then that's an issue. If you also just were completely void of, like, did it out of just complete sobriety and you were just trying to have it, then we need to have a different conversation, because obviously you don't want to be in this relationship, or there's other things that you feel like you need to talk to me about. But again, like I'm saying, like I'm the type of person, I'll give you that chance and we'll talk about it, and then we need to figure out how that will not happen again, and you need to talk to me about that, and then we move forward.
I don't believe in. I think it's a.
You don't want to have the chance.
It's not about the chance. It's that I don't believe that. I believe that people can think. I believe that people make choices. I don't believe that things just happen.
For me, I don't think that people reflect as much.
It doesn't matter if you're reflecting. You have a choice.
Thinking that actively.
If you can't think actively enough to not cheat, then you can't be in a relationship. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, we are more emotional creatures than we actually.
I don't care if you feel like you want to do that. That's fine with it. It's the fact that you chose to do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
If you felt like you want to do that, that's a problem. That's the problem. But I can't know that you feel that way. So there's no way for me to be like, no, we shouldn't be in a relationship then if you're feeling like you want to kiss these other people. But if you act on it, it means you felt like that, and you felt like it so much that you couldn't stop yourself from doing it. Mm-hmm. So in that scenario, well, then what are we doing here? Like, we shouldn't be in a relationship then if you feel so strongly that you couldn't stop yourself from doing that, which means there's no reason for us to be in a relationship.
I understand where you're coming from.
And you're saying that you think that if they felt that strongly about that person, that they could kiss them, that somehow you talking about them would be able to save your relationship or do something. Like, if they felt that strongly about them, then there's nothing you can do about that. That's the way they feel. What are you going to do to change the way they are?
Them feeling strongly about a person that they felt attracted to and kissing them, but not actually trying to have a relationship with them or move forward with them in some other more valued way.
So your argument is like, oh, you can have an affair with someone, but as long as you guys aren't like, as long as that's not like your main, then like I'm fine with it. That's the mindset that you're going with.
The mindset that I'm going with is,
and I'm saying no. Whatever we agreed to is what we agreed to, and if you feel so strongly you can't keep the terms of our agreement, then our agreement's gone. Like, what do we have now?
This is what I'll say, bro. Having a certain aspect, like kissing, okay, you kissed this person, you had some type of attraction to them.
So basically you're saying to you, kissing isn't cheating.
I'm not saying that it's not cheating, it's something that...
So if it's cheating, then why are you... You don't have a zero tolerance policy for cheating, is what you're saying?
Yes.
You don't have that?
Yeah.
A zero policy?
I don't have that. Because kissing is considered cheating, but...
I'm saying in your relationship, like, is that... Because different people's relationship, maybe kissing isn't. Only if you're, like, doing, like, things with genitalia, maybe that's cheating. But cheating is based on the constraints of your relationship. But I'm assuming that kissing would be cheating in most people's relationships.
Which it is.
So you are okay with them
you realize people still cheat, right? They consider it still cheating, but they still stay within the relationship.
Wait, what do you mean stay within the relationship? They stay in the relationship after the person cheated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But I'm saying, why do that? I don't understand the value in that unless you have children.
Because they value the potential of what they have with that person.
If there's another person that hasn't cheated on you, that you can start and go get. And
but they would rather be with the person that they have currently.
But that's never going to go away. Why would you want that?
What's never going to go away?
That they cheated on you. And as long as you don't cheat, they will have always cheated on you, and you were just there.
Yeah, you could think about it like that. You can continue. You can continue to say like this person could, always has like yes, that person always cheated on me. That will always be a truth. But
how? So this is. But
what
so,
in
okay,
the,
what
in
if
the
she's
conference?
Busted? What if she's busted? Would you still just be like, okay, just let that happen?
You wouldn't be with somebody that you perceive to be busted.
Well, apparently, what is so great, I guess, about this person that no other human being you could be in a relationship with after they cheat on you? What would be like? I don't understand. Like,
say that again.
How great is this person in your mind that you would want to stay in a relationship with them after they cheated on you? That you don't think you could build something stronger with someone else?
With someone else.
How could you? Yeah. How, like, I feel like you have to have somebody. If you had a friend and his girl kissed the guy in the club, and you saw that, and you told him, or he found out, or whatever, or she told him, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Your advice to him would be like, well, if you love her, stay with her.
No, well, I wouldn't just say that.
Or if you guys talk about it, you guys decide that you guys are staying in a relationship, stay with her.
In reality, if my friend,
other people.
Like I saw a homegirl kiss another dude. I would be going and tell him, and then. Honestly, then he would come and talk to me about his emotions, and I would really just be talking to him about that. I'm not going to just be outright, yo, you need to break up with her.
No, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying, what would your opinion on the situation be? You would be whatever. You'd be the same as for you, I guess. It would be like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
I'll look at her sideways because it's like, bro, I see you out here, and
you're looking at her more sideways than if it had happened to you. And it was your girlfriend?
I'll be more tight at my girlfriend because I'm directly involved with it. I'm not saying that I won't be angry. I'm not saying that it's not cheating.
Anger without action is meaningless. Like emotion without action is meaningless. Like it's just like waves just crashing against.
I disagree.
Yes, if you get angry, and you don't do anything about it, or you complain, you don't do anything about it.
It's still an action that is in. That you feel.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're just going to keep feeling that if you don't act on it.
That's not true.
Yes.
Emotions come and go all the time.
If you're upset that someone cheated on you, you're not going to feel not upset that they cheated on you ever. You're always going to be, you might not necessarily feel it right now, like as the pain, but I'm saying it's always going to be, I don't like that they cheated on me. That's the emotion. And I'm saying it's never going to change. It's always going to be that you didn't like that they cheated on you. Whether or not it's affecting you from day to day.
But I would say the spectrum or the level of when somebody cheated on you with the passing of time would minimize.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but you will still never be like, oh, I like that they cheated on me.
Of course.
So what is the point of staying in a relationship? You don't have any children with someone that cheated on you. Why can't you go with someone that didn't cheat on you? And build a relationship.
You could go with
somebody.
Why
not do that is what I'm saying.
I would say time. I would say the time that you're with them and how you feel with them.
Bro, I would rather be in a mansion. I think you'd enjoy being in a mansion for a year more than being in the gutter for 10 years. You're going to enjoy that time more. There's more things you're going to be able to get access to. You're going to be able to use your house for different reasons. You're going to like your house more in that 1 year than you would like 10 years in, say, the trailer that you lived in.
Yeah.
So that's the same scenario for this. If you are in a relationship with someone,
how you see it.
But I'm asking you, how do you not see it? Like, why don't you see it that way?
I'm saying that.
Why do you think that in your scenario you're saying the 10 years that you were in the trailer you would enjoy like you've
because one thing is I get you're
just getting emotionally attached to that person. You're saying that because of that.
Because
it's valuable for
what
you.
I'm thinking about is the aspect of. I'm thinking about the aspect of the person that you're with.
This is about to be a whole episode by itself.
Yeah, no, this is definitely is.
Yeah.
But time, so the time you spent with this person, and also how you value, like, you love them. That doesn't change just because they cheated on you.
But that doesn't mean we have to be in a relationship. I love people that I'm not in
That's
in
fair,
a
but some
relationship
people, and that's again, right? Like, for me, if you just outright had full-on sex with somebody, or you were giving dome to them and stuff like that.
But if they would kiss them, if the scenario was right, you're just not going to give someone dome on the dance floor. But if you were in a secluded place, they would have gone to the next step. Naturally, that's just how, like, you start off with, like, foreplay and it moves to the things down. Like,
see, here's the thing. Like, here's the thing.
They're going to do that
about.
in that
Like,
space.
There's plenty of times where people have cheated, then they push away, or things like that, and it's like, okay, you did that.
What do you mean they push it away? Like, you...
Let's say, like, in this scenario, the girl kissed a guy, so then the girl pushes him away after because she's like, I can't be doing this, even though, yes, I have an attraction for you and things like that.
Yeah.
But
she still kissed him.
She kissed him. She has to own that.
Yeah.
Right? But
she's in the wall. If she's not sure about who she wants in that scenario. She doesn't know if she wants this guy that she's kissing more or the person she's in a relationship with.
She lost her... I'm trying to think of the actual word.
Attraction?
No. Because you can still be attracted to the person that you're actually with, but be attracted to somebody else and then go and kiss that person. Especially when you're drunk.
You can be attracted to multiple people, but I believe that there is a difference between who you are willing to open yourself up to sexually and who you are just attracted to.
But you could go and kiss somebody and still not be fully open sexually with them.
No, but
because there's levels to
Yes,
it.
I'm not. Yeah, but I'm saying that if you are going to kiss somebody in a relationship, if you're in a relationship and you're kissing other people, and you in your relationship is cheating to kiss other people, you are doing that knowing that it's against your relationship. And the only way you get that far, the only way you get that far is because
you gave into your emotion.
What emotion makes people just cheat?
Horniness.
You just cheating off horniness. You could just go back and kiss the other person that you're with. What type of?
Not if you're not around them. You're a crazy
drunk, out of control person.
No, it's
yes,
not.
You are. You're saying that just because you're horny, the closest person next to you, you're gonna be fucking on them.
You're attracted to the person. You are horny and drunk. I feel like there is those sections
in a dance floor situation where there's mad people out because
and you
you're
go
horny,
and kiss them.
Bro, you're. So this is how you excuse for yourself as well. Then, like, you also apply these for yourself. Like, you would hope that someone would see these same like perceptions that you're saying, these same like rules for you in your scenario, like in a scenario where you were the one that like was horny and kissed somebody. You would hope that your significant other would see it the same way.
Actually, no.
You would hope. I'm not saying they would, but I'm saying like you would hope that they would.
Well, I would hope that
they would be able to see that you're just horny, and it was because
no. I would say that because what it's all built on is just me having this belief that like people make mistakes, so then you allow them to own up to that.
But there's some mistakes. There's some mistakes that you don't make without already going down a path long enough. And I'm saying to make out with somebody or to kiss somebody at a bar while in a relationship, you've already walked down a path where you are not living in the confines of your relationship to the point where that is okay behavior for you.
I don't think that they think that it's okay.
What do you mean? The person doing it, you're saying, doesn't think it's okay?
Yes.
So then why are you doing it? You're not. If you're the type of person that is just adrift and just like things happen to you, then maybe this is the type of situation that would happen. But a person that's like that is not ready to be in a relationship. If things are just happening to you, and these outside forces are able to just finesse you into doing things that you say you don't want to do, then you're not ready to be in a relationship or any type of commitment at all. How could you keep a promise? How could you? All these things would just come up and like, oh, I just I'm just drawn away from what I said I was going to do.
I understand on a larger scale in theory, but I'm thinking about.
But in theory, in practically, how you wouldn't want to be with a person that lives in this way that you're saying, where like these just outside things would be changing the way they are.
Okay, so in that scenario, right, it would literally, in that scenario, that would happen. Then we would have that conversation about it, and then we would figure out a way, and I would have to...
For them to not want to kiss people at the bar? Like,
no,
I feel like that's...
No. I'm saying that happened. So then I chose to stay with you, and we're working on our relationship. That's what...
And I'm saying... What?
Then if you continue to go into those scenarios and do those things, then at that point, all right,
but I'm saying, done. But that's what I'm saying is, why would you do that? First of all, why would you get in a relationship with someone that's able to do that?
It would be, how long have I been with you? How much time have I actually, like, cared for you, loved you, and things like that?
To me, it doesn't matter in that sense, because...
For me, it does. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, the time you put into a shitty project doesn't make the project shitty.
It wasn't a shitty project until one event.
No, it was the whole time, because if that could happen in it, that could have happened 10 years before, 5 years before, whenever it was.
Bro, you could go out right now and have sex with a girl. Doesn't mean that...
And I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying if I did that, no matter what section of a time period in my relationship, it throws away what you did. If you make a table you set up a table and you shit in a plate, it doesn't matter how long it took you to set up that table. You fucked up the table.
Well, it's on a plate though.
Well, you fucked up. You still fucked it up. You messed up the plate. Yeah, you diarrhea all over the table. That's what is happening here. And you fucked the table. It doesn't matter how long it took you to set up the table. But it's not a singular object, right? Because I'm saying
you went out to you had multiple dates where you guys enjoyed each other's time, and those moments are not ruined.
I'm not saying those
moments are not ruined. Yeah, those moments are still independent.
The future of that is ruined. I'm not saying the past is
ruined.
The future is ruined.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
The future, we can't
I'm not saying now because you did this, I look at you as continuing that behavior all the time. I'm saying I'm going to give you a chance.
No, but you made a conscious decision. A person made a conscious decision to basically say fuck you to you in the relationship. That's what that is. They made a decision to do that, or they let themselves do whatever gymnastics they need to do. They made a conscious choice.
They allowed themselves to get in a situation that risked the relationship, and then it did stain the relationship.
But they chose to do that. Like we've established that they chose to do that.
They chose to put themselves
not even they chose to put themselves in the situation, and they chose to act in that situation. They could have backed up. They could have said no. There's lots of things that could have happened.
I understand that,
but they chose to do that.
The thing that I'm getting at is like you are bringing down this hammer on
because it's a standard that I expect my girlfriend to not take me back if I go outside of the bounds of our agreed upon relationship. The same way that I have that same
standard. I understand that same thing as well.
So I'm saying that why would you, if there's nothing, if you don't have children in the situation, well, so there's no future. Like all the future is all imaginary. You know what I mean? Once you have children, the future is real, and their future exists in the physical world. Before you have children, it's all imaginary. It's all imaginary. It's all things that potentially could happen.
Your future still exists.
But it's all things that potentially could happen.
You just have more responsibility because you have kids with that person, but you can still have responsibility to that person without having kids with them.
Yeah, but I'm saying that. Well, I'm saying that the man. It doesn't. The future does not physically exist on Earth when you are just.
And you could not be. You don't have to be with them and still have that physical future of kids in the world.
But I'm saying that the only spot where it's excusable to stay with somebody
in your situation,
you have children that are young and they need to have. You guys still have obligations as parents, and that's why.
But you can still be parents and not be together.
I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying that it's better to be parents together than to be parents of sperm.
Right, and I'm saying
that's the only example where anyone's gaining anything. No, but I'm saying objectively, you're not gaining anything from staying with somebody while they cheated on you. when you could go. We're saying this is not a situation where there's, unless your scenario only makes sense if this person could not get in another relationship. Do they not have 10 years more in their life? Are they going to die? So what is the scenario where you couldn't make a better investment? What is there's no scenario where the person couldn't find someone else and have good dates together.
We could both find other people.
Exactly.
That's not what I'm saying.
Why would you not do that?
I'm not, because the moment that I say,
outside of the fact that you're saying that,
because I could look at it. If I'm looking at it in your sense, right? Mm-hmm. I don't need cheating to be the fact for me to just try to go find somebody better.
Exactly.
If that's the question.
But what I'm saying is cheating is, cheating is not the reason why you need to go find someone better.
Exactly.
But I'm saying cheating is a black and white sense that person is not committed to you. It's literally in black and white. It's like being in a relationship, almost anything is allowed outside of these couple of things. And these people come up with them in their relationship and they define what they are, and everything else is fine in the relationship. And if you decide to step outside of that, you're making a conscious decision to step outside of the bounds of your relationship, which means you're saying, I don't like the constraints that are in this relationship, and I want to leave this. You don't accidentally do that, and I don't think that you should. I don't think there's any excuse for that, and there's no reason for you to take them back and say, like, oh, just don't do it again. Why did they do it to start with? And if they are the type of person who could accidentally fall into these things, like you're saying, then it's even more reason for you not to be in a relationship.
In like high school, college, I feel you. And in adulthood, like as much adulthood that I have experience with right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't see a reason to be still in a relationship. I don't care if you're 30.
There's no reason. Well, actually, no. I would say I apply your thought processes in
more when you're adulthood. You're saying?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, because as you get older, there's gonna be less people you're around. There's less actual opportunity for you to find another person.
Yeah. I'm bugging.
While you're younger, you should definitely not be doing that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. But what I'm thinking about is just time, because I don't apply what I'm saying right now to if you're in a if you've only been with this person for like a couple months. Yeah,
but I'm saying, what I'm saying is that,
like, if
you were with them for 3 years, and they cheated, and they start, that means the only way that would happen is that slowly things are eroding and your relationship is eroding, and it's got to the point where now they're kissing people. If they weren't doing that before, and this is the first time it happened, your relationship is eroded to the point where that's what they're doing.
That's why I have that rule, and that's why I've been trying to say is, like, there's a huge character change for that to happen. And
that's not huge. It's a gradual erosion of your relationship. And by the time that people in your relationship are making out with other people in the club, there's nothing to save anymore. And that's what I'm saying.
And I agree with that, because then you should be having certain arguments and things like that, and then I can see that work. But like I was thinking about,
someone could choose to try to save them, but there's nothing to save. Is what I'm saying. Like,
the scenario that I was thinking about is like, you've been with this person for X amount of years. There hasn't actually been anything that's been an issue between you two.
But that's first of all, it's not true, because every relationship has arguments and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
but like I'm talking about arguments that erode the relationship, arguments that are like things that you continuously are fighting about, and you know that there's issues. Like every relationship has.
But you're saying nothing that is. Now you're saying there's nothing that is currently an issue.
So you're in a relationship that the issue is something that always is coming up, that it's always on the forefront. There's ways that you guys kind of like avoid it now. Mm. That's what I would say avoids is eroding the relationship, and that's continuing for months, and you guys can't fix things. And then this happens. Then I would see that.
I'm saying that I think that it was eroding secretly. If this happens out of the blue to you, it was eroding secretly. They were slowly losing interest. They were slowly blowing.
And then that conversation that I said of you talking out like what's really going on, and if that's what comes out.
No, but you said that you would, and if they do it again, then you'd be like, okay, well,
I'm not just giving that. Oh, you don't do it again. Right
I'm saying
after
that we're broken up. We're done until maybe they could convince me to take them back, but I don't think that even that would work. I'm saying that the second someone decides,
but in your context, why would you even say that? Because they already broke the agreement, so therefore you see them as a person that will continue that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's done. Like what? How would you not continue the behavior if you got to the point where you could do it? For example, like if you're a person that's like slowly becoming addicted to a drug, and then a person finds out that you're addicted to it, it makes sense that they would still be addicted to it because it's something that they started to grow do.
Yeah. So this is like in this context of that, right?
I'm talking about addiction.
I know. But like. Because that's risky. Because, like, essentially, there's a point where you just perceive it as you just like this thing, and then at the point now you realize that you are addicted to it, and then in order to get off of that addiction, you have to separate yourself from that action.
And I'm saying I think that this person who would be kissing people in the club after a X amount of years, over a year or so, is what you're saying. Is a person that is no longer mentally in that relationship.
Okay.
And I don't think any amount of alcohol is going to make you accidentally do that without you.
Well, I don't think it would. I don't think calling it an accidental kiss is the right
mistake.
thing.
It wouldn't mistakenly kiss anyone. You said everyone makes mistakes. I don't think anyone mistakenly kisses somebody unless they don't want to be in the relationship. No one's horny going out. Like, you're not going out and you're horny for the people outside if you want to be in a relationship. Or if you are attracted in your relationship, or you know what I mean?
I guess, for me, I'm just assuming that people do not think as much.
Them realizing this is what's happening is not the same as it not happening. You know what I mean? Like, just because you don't know
something that is,
they don't necessarily. They might not be aware that they're losing attraction in the relationship, but they lost attraction in the relationship, and that's why they're doing this. That's what I'm saying. If there's the type of relationship that we're describing, so I'm not saying that they would know it and they would be like, "Oh, I don't really like this person." But a lot of times, what happens is something like this happens. It's like, "Oh, maybe I'm not that attracted to the person I'm with." So I'm saying if your body and your mind and those things are combining to make you make an action outside of our agreement, it means that deep down you don't really want to be here anymore. And whether you are aware of that or not, your actions are betraying what you feel. And there's nothing for us to talk about in a relationship standpoint, because the only thing to talk about is maybe let's find out why. But let's find out why. But it's past that point. Like, how did you let it get that far? It's your job to advocate for yourself in your relationship to make sure that it's a relationship you want to be in. And if they didn't do that and now it's a relationship they don't want to be in, it's not my job to now proactively spend X amount of years or months to get them back into the spot where now they're attracted, when it may not even be. I have no idea how to even do that.
But essentially, though, that is what is happening, right? Like, when somebody cheats, the partner is frustrated, mad, but then the reason why they're staying is to ask why. And
but you don't also you can ask why without being in a relationship. You can talk to someone without being in a relationship.
They're asking why. They're also weighing the value of what they have with this person and where they want to go.
Yeah, I agree that calculation happens, but I'm saying that...
And that's the reason why people either stay or leave.
And I'm saying, for your scenario, for you, I'm saying, why is it that you think that there's anything any dates that you enjoyed or situations that were nice or fun conversations or fun vibes that would outweigh the future of them not wanting to be with you?
Because I'm not automatically associating them doing the kiss, with them automatically not wanting to be with, also associating that as a one-on-one thing with they don't want to be with me anymore. They kiss this person, they don't want to
without
be with
having
me.
any like head trauma or something where they're like no longer the same person. If they're the same person, how come that didn't happen? Why is this just happening now?
And then I would ask the question why.
But there's only one reason why that's happening right now, unless they changed their personality and went through some type of like medical thing, where they had some type of incident. It's because they no longer want to be in a relationship. That's the only thing. So you can find out why and you can have a conversation about it, but they already broke the relationship. And anything you do after that is you just trying to patch that back up. And I'm saying there's no reason to patch it up when it would be easier for you to just start a relationship with someone else. Or just be by yourself and find out why is this happening, how this come together.
I think that you can't find out why it happened without talking to the other person.
Yeah, I'm
not reviewing that.
Me saying breaking up is not. Yeah, I'm just ghosting them, not talking.
Yeah, I understand that.
We're not in a relationship anymore.
But I'm really just repeating myself and saying why, time, and the potential.
I understand, but
everybody that gets cheated on, those are the things those are the steps that they're going through, and they weigh if that is enough to stay or leave. And I'm saying that I'm
at this
that person.
age now. You're saying that there is
more directly right now, right? Because I'm
that's
thinking
what we're talking
like,
about. We're talking about. I said I wouldn't let that happen. So I'm talking about me now, in the world now, and you're talking about you now in the world now.
I wasn't. I was talking more like this hypothetical, like either like college situation or like I'm not even thinking context wise. I was just thinking like there's a person that had a kiss. You necessarily have been with them for a long time. You want to have a future with them, but
you're not going to have that future if they're even in that scenario.
Okay.
You're not going to have that future with them if they're kissing other people. They don't want to be with you.
But they kissed one person, and there wasn't any. And also, I was putting in there like there was no issues in the relationship. But if there's issues, there's been issues in the relationship. Y'all having multiple arguments, and now this person is also kissing somebody.
If that's just coming out like that, it's one of those scenarios where it's like you've had like the relationship is just rotten underneath, and you might just not know that because you're standing on top, but it's hollow underneath. There's no way that comes up, and there aren't a whole bunch of other problems underneath.
And that's fair, but I was creating that like for this because she just said contact somebody, kiss somebody. So then I was just like, okay, somebody kiss somebody, and
I said that's wild. And she said like, kissing is not that big of a deal, blah blah blah. And you were like, yeah, I could probably eat that. And then that's why I was like,
yeah, I wasn't thinking about it like, like that's crazy. Like my current girlfriend did this.
No, but it wouldn't matter if it's your current girlfriend or any other girl. It's about what you expect for yourself. Because you said you don't like lose attraction. You wouldn't be with someone that you wouldn't be attracted to. So yeah, it doesn't matter what girl it is. Obviously, someone that you're attracted to.
Yeah.
So it would be the same across any person, right? It should be. Unless that, and that's what I was saying. How great are they that you're feeling like you would need to, or how much of a pedestal do you have them on that you feel like you need to?
For me, like if we're talking about me, I just think about when I get into relationships, I'm looking at it in a sense of like, all right, I'm already making the commitment. Like, yeah, but my end goal is to be able to marry this person.
Yeah, but it's conditional though. It's not just I'm going to marry this person without like no matter what. That's not. Maybe for you it is, but I'm saying there's conditions that has to stay within these realms, and if you don't, it's no longer.
And I'm not saying that it's not no matter what. I'm saying that like I'm making a commitment to this person, and I will work for this relationship and make sure that it works. But there, like, if you continue to cheat on me, or you are.
That's what I'm saying. This continuing.
I can't communicate with you. Like, I also look at it as very like singular instead of more of a practical theory. So like my previous relationship, it ended because of X, Y, and Z. And then
no, but you can apply these things across. People are not that different. Like people have different preferences and different like experiences, but people act out based off of what they want or what they hope to gain, or universally.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. I haven't put time into thinking about it in a universal standpoint.
But I'm saying the universe, you can take one. There's no. But what do you mean from a universal standpoint? There's no
like people act out of something that they can gain or how they feel, and I'm saying that like I think about this is.
But that still applies to your individual situation.
It applies to my individual situation, but then I like. Okay, you curse at me, and we can't actually communicate. Boom, it's done, over with.
So see, like that. So you just like that's what I'm saying. For you, you're saying for you, it's more about you felt disrespected when they're cursing. And for you, when you feel disrespected, that's more of a reason to break up than if someone actually cheated on you with someone else. And to me, I find that as disrespect. It's the same thing. If you're kissing other people, you're disrespecting me. Just like if I was kissing other people. So that's the thing. You just don't find that as much as a respect thing.
No, it's
for
still.
Me, I think
I'm not saying that it's not a respect thing. I look at it as, why are you doing this action? Because again, I said in this scenario, it's like in this scenario, there was no previous issues. Like there was no other things that we had. Couldn't you say that
same thing about a girl cursing at you? Like, why is it they're cursing at me? Like, you've never done that before. Like, maybe we can talk about this. Those same things apply, but you felt disrespected to the point where you're like, well, there's no reason to move forward. And I'm saying, I feel like for most people, someone breaking that agreement is the same level of disrespect as you feel when someone is like cursing at you.
That's fair, but that's not what I was thinking.
Okay. All right. Let us know what you think. If somebody is making out with someone at the club,
this shit is dumb.
How much is that? Is that really cheating in your relationship? And is it worth you just breaking up with them and moving forward with your life? Or is there a way you can actually repair that? We'll see you next here on Unrivaled Media.